if there's anything we know about small business owners and entrepreneurs is that we are always working, and we really need to take that time to celebrate all the great work that we've done.
Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the Duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips.
Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 183, and I'm really excited about this episode, honestly, because it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. So, let's be honest. January might be the calendar new year, but September's a real MVP.
Yeah. Fall, there's nothing better. I don't know. I mean,
in
depending on
Minnesota,
where in Minnesota, there's nothing better.
There really isn't.
No. If wherever else you are in the world,
you might disagree.
Maybe. Or maybe you just don't even have a fall. But fall is just prime.
It is the best. A lot of people say Minnesota summers are the best, which
no, there's mosquitoes. They're not the best.
There is mosquitoes. Minnesota fall, again, the real MVP. It is such a reset time, especially for, I guess, maybe Abby and I, we just love the fall, so maybe it's just like perfect for our business too, but it just feels like such a good reset time. But I think it's not just within our own business, it's especially if you're a mom, a service provider, or someone who just thrives with structure, because if you think about summer, it's a little chaos city. When I haven't even thought about when Mila doesn't go to daycare. I'm in the daycare days, so I'm still in that like glorious, like she has a structure, blah, blah, blah. And Abby is in the phase of like her kids are grade school, and so she doesn't have anything for the summers. And that it was like the first time this year where that kind of hit me, and I'm like, OMG, what am I going to do when she's in grade school and doesn't have daycare in the summer anymore? So it's just a
wild, wild west.
It is the wild, wild west. So that's why we want to talk about how you can change your mindset here and not think of January as being like that new year, new you, new goals. Why not shift that into the fall if you feel this same direction that Abby and I do when it comes to kind of just like resetting and getting back to structure. You've got that back to school energy. You've got the new notebooks, the crisp mornings. It just all hits so differently than the chaos and the sweatiness and the mosquitoes that is that of summer.
I am like right now just like daydreaming of just a fall morning, hot coffee, sweatshirt, sitting on the patio.
She's ready for her PSL, everybody.
I actually do love a good PSL.
I just saw they're coming out a couple weeks.
No, that's too early. Way too early.
I don't know. I mean,
September.
I'm seeing a lot of Halloween ads right now, and I'm not mad about it.
No. Don't. I mean, I love fall, but you're not going to cheat my summer away. Like back to school already taken over Target, not okay with me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm
very excited for this new season, but I'm also like, don't hit me too hard too fast.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess I really do hate it when it's like when Christmas stuff comes out too early, because I'm like, wait, what? Like the snow hasn't even, like it's still nice outside.
Yeah,
you know.
tough.
So if summer feels like a slow season to you, we see you. We also feel this, I don't want to say pain, but maybe a little bit of uneasiness when the inquiries aren't quite as consistent, or it's just a little quieter. That's where September really brings this shift, because a lot of clients are back online. There's more people that are ready to invest. They're not chasing these beach schedules anymore, and they're finally able to breathe again because everybody's got a little bit more structure.
And usually ready to invest. Like,
yes,
especially for service providers, is like this is the time of year that people are like, okay, we're getting to the end of the year. Like, I need to make some investments. I'm ready to make some changes in my business, or I'm ready to lay down some money, or I have a routine and a schedule and I can actually work now.
Yes. I can actually breathe and think clearly.
Yeah. So it really is the perfect time and I think we really made this biggest shift for our business in using September like a new year last year.
It was glorious.
It was amazing. And I think like every year we want to really think of like this time of year as our new year, because New Year time, honestly, like the last 2 weeks of the year, we don't want to work. We want to take time off, and then you're trying to get back into it. And the pressure that you have in the 1st of January to be like just going after your goals.
Get back to your workouts.
Yeah.
Eat healthy.
Especially in Minnesota
Set
when
a
it's
routine.
it's so dark and it's so cold. And it's like, I don't have that energy in January. It's not there. And so
there's no vitamin D.
Yeah, who said that had to be the year? So no, we're saying screw that. We're starting in September.
Yep.
In the fall. Fall is our New Year reset, and we invite you to do the same. So we're going to walk through how we treat September like our New Year, what our kind of reset plan is, and then you can copy it and use it for yourself.
We hope you do.
Yeah. So let's talk first about how we're going to treat this September, how we're going into it. So one, like not just for business, but I think both of us kind of reset our own personal routines during this time.
Yeah.
I mean, especially me, because my routine didn't exist before. So it's like kids are gone at school. Like I can actually like do something for myself without feeling this chaos, eat breakfast in peace,
without having a little kid knock at the door and be like,
yes.
Mom.
Yes. And I love it. I love the mix of both. Like absolutely. But there's something about like a fresh routine, being able to like grab a book or something and just like have a little peace and quiet without having to jam every second with work. So I think personal routines are definitely like one of the things that also strive to encourage us to update our work routine.
Yes. Another thing is at this point, we've already booked our own annual planning session. So we get so jazzed and excited about this because it's really a time for us to unplug from everything in our personal lives. We get out of our houses. We stay together for a day and a half, 2 days. We really brainstorm, talk about our goals, dive into all of the things. If you want to learn more about it, you can have a listen to episode 141 for kind of a peek at last year's planning session that we had. But it is so excited to plan prior to it and like leading up to it and like where are we going to stay, what are we going to do, and of course we mix pleasure with business. Like we're going to get a massage, we're going to find a place that has a hot tub, we're going to have really cool views or like get out of the city or whatever we're feeling. That's what we do for annual planning, and it is really, it's like the Super Bowl of our year for our brand. We're like, this is it, this is the main event, we're so excited. And so just planning and then like leading up to it is just like there's so much excitement and creativity and inspiration around it.
And it's also just like a breath of fresh air to not think about anyone else but us and our business.
Yes.
Like it's okay to shut off all the noise every once in a while because like including personal noise, which is exactly why we book someplace. Like we don't travel far, we like stay in the cities.
We can't go too far from our babies.
Yeah, we don't go that far, but we just like get out of our house, get out of our normal day-to-day, get out of our responsibilities, both business and personal life, and talk about the big picture. And so seriously tune into that episode for 141 if you haven't listened to it. Or if you need that, we created an agenda that you guys can steal too, and you can use that template for your own annual planning meeting.
I swear after the episode 141 went live, we had multiple people reach out to us and be like, I'm so doing this for my business. Yes. This is so exciting. Like so many people got inspired by that and actually like took that on themselves too.
Yeah. This is the biggest reason and how we treat fall, like our new year, is planning this. And like it was like 2 weeks ago that we don't have the place booked or anything, like agenda isn't planned, but we blocked off our calendar.
Yes.
And it was like, husbands, you got the kids, we are going to be gone.
And when Abby said earlier, like getting away from all of the noise, we even put out of offices on our emails for that time, because you know how like if you even just have that email tab open, you're so tempted to just check it throughout the day. But we had our emails closed, we had our out of office on, and we made it very clear like the next couple of days we're going to be out of office, we're doing some big planning, you know, if you need to reach us here, or we'll get back to you in a couple of days. And
our team knew, so everyone knew, so it was good.
Yes.
The next thing that we kind of do during this season is really map out Q4 offers, finalize launches, plan vacations. Like, seriously, now's the time that we're going to block off our calendar for the holidays. Like, we're going to take a full week for Thanksgiving, or we're going to take a full couple weeks for in between Christmas and New Year's. And we're really going to block off our calendar, and then we're going to see, okay, when does any additional launches make sense? So we usually do launch our course again in Q3, and maybe in Q4 we do mini launches. So we just kind of like, it's a time to take a look at our year and see what makes sense. What do we have time for? Are we attending any conferences? Are we traveling? Like, how crazy is our schedule? Because the nice thing about summer is, like, yeah, summer is a little bit slower, so you have a little bit more like time to breathe. We always find that when it comes to fall, it's kind of more chaotic. Like, it gets crazy fast.
It is. Like, our personal lives in summer, I feel like, are chaos, and our business is a little bit like slower and like doing fine. But like then business gets chaotic. It's kind of in the fall.
And it's because clients pick back up.
Yes,
it's because people are inquiring, people are ready to spend money, people want to spend money before the end of the year for tax purposes. Like, all of that starts to happen. And so it's really important that we block these days. Like, these are non-negotiables. We are taking time for annual planning. We are taking time to be with our family for the holidays. We are taking time for launches, and we block our calendar and we work around it.
And we used to be really bad about that prior to these annual meetings, because it would get to be like the week of Thanksgiving and we're still just like working our butts off. And we were like, what are we doing?
I know. It's so hard to say no. So I would say, by doing this and blocking our calendar, we're really like taking that pressure off of ourselves and focusing on like, nope, this is non-negotiable. We can either take this project or we can't, or the timeline's going to be a little bit longer, which is normally people are never going to get mad about that.
No. So next, we're going to dive into your September reset plan. This is something that we do and we think is very beneficial. So we kind of want to take you through each sections of these reset plan. And the first one is probably one of my favorite. I don't know if it's because it's kind of just like woo-woo, or you're just like looking back, like
the word that came to my mind.
Yes, Abby's probably like, of course she loves this part. But it's that time for reflection, and I think we all fail to look back and reflect on our businesses the way that we should. Even hitting baby goals, like Abby and I have hit some big goals and some little goals here. And the other day we hit one of our big goals, and I said something about that to Abby, and she looked at me and she's like, "Wait, we did?" And I was like, "Yes!" Like,
I knew we hit it. I just forgot.
We hadn't like stopped and like truly celebrated it like we should have, but like we hit it. And so I think that reflection part is so key, because we can get so caught up in the day-to-day of the to-dos and the actions, and we have this and we have that meeting and blah blah blah, that you actually don't step back and look at everything that your business has truly done, not only for your clients, but for yourself, for your family, how much you've grown. So it's really just looking back on all of that, the accomplishments that you made, like answer those questions, give yourself credit, celebrate those, like take some time to truly celebrate them. And then, pull out a vision board or your goals and like look at that and say what still feels aligned, what might need to change. Even ask yourself questions like, where did we lose momentum? It's not all goals and happy and woo woo. It can also be like, okay, what didn't work, right? Like, let's reflect on what didn't work, but let's also reflect on what works really well.
Yeah. And not even that, like what goals weren't aligned.
Right.
Like if you lost momentum on it, then maybe that wasn't what you should be going for to begin with. So I think that's also important. And then the other one is kind of like a spring clean, but a fall clean, let's clean out things. So let's archive old projects. Let's, like, for us, we manage all of our client projects in Dubsado. So it's a perfect time to kind of clean out the tool, archive old clients that we haven't worked with in a while, make sure that everything is like workflows are working as they're supposed to, all of that. It's also a good time to look at our services and our website and kind of see what's working. So we talk about this a lot, website working days, and kind of like setting aside these times to really work on our business and on our website. Make sure it's actually working for us. So that's episode 157 if you want to hear more about what website working days are for us. But this is a whole day in and of itself, honestly, just to like set aside. And it doesn't have to be a whole day. For us, we love to make it a whole day just because, and sometimes we're for sure accomplishing other things, but it gets us together. It gets us talking about things from a bigger level. What's the point of our website? Is it driving conversions? What should it be focusing on? What conversions should it be driving? Like, just all of those big questions that we don't quite think about. And how often does your website get outdated and not reflect what you're doing now?
Right, exactly.
Like, it's just so much more often than you think. So even if you don't have time to actually make the changes on your website, but you do have time just to go through and note out what does need to be changed, maybe that's an opportunity to outsource. So you can kind of look at that too. And then again, checking email workflows, automations. Where could you maybe automate more? Where could you outsource more? Like, what is falling behind on your list and where can you pull in help? And then let's refresh your calendar and start blocking time. So we're going to talk about this in a sec. We're going to talk about all the Q4 meetings that you should already have in your calendar. So I will loop back on that one.
And then the third part of kind of this September working plan is plan. And this is probably, I would say, like the meatiest, biggest part of when we get together and do our annual planning. It really is kind of the work you do, what you anticipate making, how you want to grow, all of those things really play into that actual plan. So this one can get a little bit heavy, but
we're talking high level plans,
high level
not like
planning.
When are you going to post that reel?
Yes, this is like your business in the next year, in the next 365-day plan. So that's why I say it is kind of big and maybe a little bit overwhelming, but it's also things that might, again, not work in the plan, right? You're going to talk about it, you're going to put it out there, but then when you reflect again the next year at your annual planning meeting, you maybe never got to that service or whatever, and maybe that there's a reason for it. So it's asking yourself questions like, what are you selling, or what's realistic based on your capacity and time? Like, you really have to also think of how many hours do you have in a day and protecting your time and energy while also building a business and selling services or products that you truly love. Asking yourself questions like, is it time for a mini launch, a relaunch, some sort of a big offer that I've been thinking about lately? And what does that look like? How does that fit into my business plan? How does that fit into the calendar? Blocking off times to actually work on those things. And even asking yourself questions like, is it right? Does it feel aligned for my business?
Is your brand still aligned to where your business is today?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Big picture things. So it's really taking that step back and looking at what's working.
Yep. And also I think a big thing here is like not forgetting your audience. Like, they're also resetting. So thinking in the mindset of your audience and your clients, what do they need right now? Like, what do they need from you? And how can you be there for them, create that content, launch that product, that service, that course, whatever it might be. So really thinking through your business through a mindset of the audience that you are attracting and things that you can maybe add or even remove from your brand or your business that might not be serving them anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's like, it's easy to get caught up in one or the other, like building without thinking about your audience or only thinking about your audience and not building a business you love.
You have to think about both.
Yes, and it's such like a happy medium that you have to find this middle ground where you're building a business that you truly love that also is resonating with the right audience. And so taking the time to plan against what you're going to do, big picture, is so important. And this is what we do at our annual planning meeting. Like this plan section is what we're doing there. And then I would say, like, when it comes to, so as we talk about the September reset plan, the reflecting, the cleaning up, like this is all preparation for our annual planning meeting. When we get to the annual planning meeting, we're having these conversations, these big picture conversations. And then finally, we're dreaming. This is like Courtney's woo-woo section that she loves.
Like we start with woo-woo and you kind of end with woo-woo.
We do.
It's fun.
Yes, we do. She forces me to think about things like, where do you want to be if like there were no barriers? And I'm like, but there are, Courtney.
Literally
there
no.
are
No,
barriers.
I always have to remind her there's none whatsoever. If we could hire a celebrity to be on our team, who would it be?
Right?
If we could have a private jet, where would we go?
Well, that one's easy. So it's really taking that time to dream. And I think we do that a lot in the early days of our business. And then when we get into the meat of it in the day to day, we
We're
stop.
kind of like,
We
how do
kinda
we
stop
make money?
dreaming.
How do we build, or how do we gain more clients?
Yeah.
What do we add to our services? Yeah, you stop the dreaming phase of it, which the dreaming phase
You stop
is,
dreaming big.
yeah,
That
and
might be
it's
it.
so fun.
Yeah.
It is such a fun phase.
Yeah.
And I strongly encourage it for everybody's brand. You should.
Yeah. Yes. So let's talk about meetings, because this is kind of like the most actionable part of this podcast episode right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening to this and you're like, okay, what, like, we are just about to enter September. So it's like, what meetings should you have blocked on your calendar to make sure that you have this time allocated to think and really treat Q4 like your new year? So one is your annual planning day. So days, a week, 2 weeks. We don't judge.
2 weeks, Costa Rica? Yes. Sign me up.
One day we will. But for now, we have a couple days blocked off on our calendar. Like I said, at this point, we don't have the agenda and we don't have the location booked. We have an idea.
Idea-ish. But like otherwise, really, it's just putting those dates on the calendar.
Yes.
Talking to anybody in your life that you need support from for you to have those days to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Unplugged completely, just thinking about your brand and your business.
Yes. That's the hardest part. Blocking the time.
It is.
So block the time. And then having to wear like all of these other hats of your business. So one, CFO hat, like we have to look at our finances. You can't just ignore it. So for you, if you have someone who's like a fractional CFO or a bookkeeper, an accountant, or someone who's really, really close to your business, maybe you're having these meetings with them. For us, we still kind of wear that hat, I'd say, from like a high level CFO standpoint. So we're having these meetings together, reviewing not only the revenue, but the expenses and also the profitability of our services and our offerings, and how many hours did our team put into things? Are we charging the right amount for these services? What are all of the tools we're using?
Everything revolved around finances.
It's truly a year-end financial audit, which I believe we've had a couple episodes on the podcast about finances, but I think when we do this, it might be worth bringing it back to the pod so that we can talk about financial recaps and what we do for our own agency.
Absolutely. Another one is offer or product audit. So sitting down, going through the offers that you have or the products that you have and really auditing what's working, what's not working. Do we need to add products or services? Are there services or products that don't sell as well or that we just dislike? Abby and I have been in this, phase before where we've been offering a service that just didn't fit us, or we just found that it wasn't right for us, and we kept doing it for a while until we actually sat down and audited it, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't bring us joy. It's not something that we want to keep doing or adding on to, and we just didn't find the passion in it, and we didn't feel like we were totally the main expertise in that area, and it was just something we wanted to get away from. And that was some social services that we did way back, a couple of years ago. And now that we've really focused in on the services that we are the experts in, our whole brand and business has shifted in such a positive direction when we audited those things and found what works and what doesn't work.
And I would say this is like the order too that you should have them. Annual planning should probably come first, and or financial review could come before annual planning as well. But then after both of those, like after you've talked about the big picture, what's working, what's not working, what do we like, what do we don't like, then you have the realistic perspective of like, okay, this service is profitable, but we really hate it. So we really need to figure something else out. And vice versa, you've had your financial review. So now you know what's actually profitable. Like you might really, really, really love a service, but it's actually not making you any money because it takes you so much time, or it's taking you away from other things in the business. So like profitability really matters too. And that all is going to come into that offer and product audit.
Yes, exactly. The next one is content and marketing brain dump. So this is a really fun section for after you figure out those products or the offers that you've just audited and you kind of looked at your finances and all of that. Where are you going to put your time and your money and your marketing for those services, for those products, for your business. Like, what does that look like? When does that look like throughout the year? When we go back to talking about mini launches or building courses or, offering new services, what does that look like strategically throughout your marketing calendar? And even putting that on the calendar during this meeting, like, okay, we really want to do this launch for this service. Let's look at our calendar and figure out when makes most sense. So you put that on your calendar, you block it out, so going into that next calendar year that you can plan for that and start to market for that prior to that launch. It's not something that just like sneaks up on you, or you're saying that you're going to do it, but you're not really planning it.
Yeah. And we love to do this from like a big calendar view of like, okay, let's look at the whole year. Now, Q1, what affiliates are we going to support? And then how can we pepper that content into the podcast episodes that we're creating, the blog posts we're creating, the social content we're creating? Like, take a huge step back. I don't want you to think like, okay, this content, like brain dump that we're doing is like specific, like here's the reels, here's the carousels. Like,
yes, that's too nitty gritty.
Yeah, it's super high level of like, okay, this month is the launch of our course, meaning 2 months before that we need to be running ads to bring in a new audience. Like, we're really thinking about it from a really high level perspective and looking at the content and the marketing to make sure it aligns with your big launches and the offers that you aligned with and all of that.
Yep.
And then after that comes the website. So this is that website working day, making sure you have one on your calendar for Q4 to actually take action. If anything, I would say like, okay, you're doing all your Q4, new year, new you, new goals, new all the things stuff in the fall, right? So then when it actually comes to new year, you know what I want to do in January is like a website working day.
Absolutely.
I want to actually take action on all the things that we want this year to bring.
Because you're going into the quote unquote January New Year that everybody coins as like the time that you need to do all of this, but you're going into that with all of this stuff that you've already met on, you've already brainstormed, you're already ready to just like hit the ground running, and you don't feel so bogged down by everybody being like, now's the time to plan, because you're like, hey,
I'm done.
I've already done this.
I'm done, or I feel aligned. Like, I think that was one of the things leaving our annual planning meeting last year. I think I looked at Court and I was like, we have so much to do, but I feel good about it because it's not like it has to happen in 2 weeks. This is things that we have from October to January to like solidify because we did this early.
Yeah. So, and we were just so excited
such a good feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. Such a good feeling. And of course, there's things that we're going to review this year that we haven't even done, that
I'm
we
probably
had on
gonna
our
just
list.
laugh and be like, wait, what?
Which is like, okay, that's when we talk about like, okay, why didn't this happen? Is it because we didn't want to do it? Is it because it didn't feel aligned? Is it because we didn't have enough time? Is it because we need to outsource or hire? Like, what's the answer? And that's what you dig into during this time.
Yes.
So getting those website working days on the calendar is going to be a good one. And I would say that's something that can definitely come later Q4, even Q1 if you want. And then team or contractor one-on-one. So people that you work with consistently. We actually just did all of ours.
All of the reviews.
In the summer, which was really nice. So we did all of our team kind of check-ins. And I don't know, it was so funny because we were telling our team too, like, it's an annual review, but
and
it's
I think
not.
all of them were like borderline kind of
corporate PTSD.
Terrified. And we got on each call with them, and we just started each call like, this is very conversational. This is very just like what's working, what's not working, what are your goals, blah blah.
How can we help you grow?
Yeah, and all of them were like, oh, good. I'm glad this was it.
Right.
And we sent out a survey prior, just like questions asking them like, what is your future goal here? Or like, what are new things you want to learn? What's working, what's not working? So we had a better understanding going into the reviews, things that we could talk on and address versus it being super structured and stuffy and on a scale of 1 to 10.
Right.
Yeah, like none of that shit.
How would you rate your manager?
Right.
And I think this especially, so if you don't have a team, but you have contractors you work with or a VA or something like that, I would still schedule just a check-in. Just schedule a check-in to be like, hey, I just want to talk to you about like what you're liking, what you're working. Where do you see our partnership going in the next year?
Yep.
And kind of talking about that, because that can be a really important discussion. And maybe you're working with a contractor on a contractor basis and they actually have this appetite to like work for you part-time. Like those could be conversations that can grow into roles that you didn't even know exist. But unless you have those conversations, you're not going to know.
And the last most exciting meeting that you need to have on your calendar is your end of year celebration. We have talked about this on the podcast multiple times, and we have sucked in the past years on getting this on the calendar because, again, it's always like, oh man.
This is the problem. We've always tried to do annual planning and end of the year celebration together.
And you can't.
It never
You have to separate them.
Yeah.
You have to separate them. So we have gotten better at it now that we've started doing the annual planning, but you need to take time off for you, to celebrate your business, to celebrate it with your spouses or just anybody else that has been a part of that process too, because not only are they supporting you, but they're with you through it all. You have them as a clutch and support through it all. And you really need to take that time to obviously still reflect. You're not getting super into the weeds on reflection, but you're celebrating it. You're celebrating all that you've done within the past year. And if there's anything we know about small business owners and entrepreneurs is that we are always working, and we really need to take that time to celebrate all the great work that we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. So because I know it's not the easiest to hear all of these Q4 meetings that you need to schedule and just like mentally note it in your head, especially if you're listening to us while you're driving or taking a walk. So we have a little checklist for you in the show notes. So go ahead and grab those and let us know how your new year, quote unquote, new year goes. New year, new you. Let's change it. It's fall, all right?
If you like this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please go ahead and leave us a review, and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We absolutely love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.